Are you ready?
Yeah,
Is that a yes?
I think so.
Okay. So I think by the time this episode airs, like our Ryu app will already be out. And I actually wrote like a blog about this topic, but I thought it would be something interesting to discuss. So I was reading this book, and the book it talks about like the idea of like open relationships and all of that. Like that's their theory. They like try to do it like a scientific theory. But the basis of their theory is that like love is a endless resource. Like they are applying it to the concept of having multiple partners and all of that. But I think just conceptually that idea is quite a nice idea. Like you don't have to be like polyamorous to subscribe to it, because I feel like when it comes to love, like we always look at it like it's so there's not enough. There's not enough to go around. Like, we have this scarcity mindset. But like firstly, what do you think of this idea? And like secondly, like how would we like shift our minds to think that like there is enough love to go around? Even within you, there's enough love for the whole world. Like, why do we feel like it's
You see,
not endless?
The assumption that you can access it is what I will question. People say, let's say they're saying there's enough love to go around.
Love as an endless resource.
Okay, love is an endless resource. That's true. That's what, when one attains to, one says, all is love, they say. As though it's an endless resource. But can you tap into it? Do you know what it takes to be in a state to love? Love might be endless. But can you tap into it? Do you know what it takes to tap into love itself? It is not this mental idea, like a lot of this, I don't know, they're talking about multiple partners and all that. My issue with that is you never go deep with anyone. That depth is where the endless resources is, but people don't get to that depth. You think how people are is what love is? Do you know what it takes to love? Is to be unsplit, is to have so much internal discipline that you can tap into that endless resource of love. And if you tap into the endless resource of love, doesn't mean you have to use it or abuse it. You are just in the ocean of love, and to whom you can share that love might be limited. You see, I suspect I haven't read the book, whatever the idea they're talking about, I think they're hallucinating, as though you can tap into love and be in a state of love with everyone. I think they want to bypass that commitment. My suspicion is, again, I'm commenting very callously. I haven't read the book. I don't understand.
I don't think you would ever read the book. It has a very saucy title that I will not share.
I will not. Okay. But let me approach it this way. The assumption that you are already tapping into love has to come into question.
No, I think like the idea that they put forth that I liked was that like they talk about like the love you have is like an ocean, right? It's endless.
Do you have love? Come on. What are you talking about? Do you know how rarely love explodes? Just saying hello, how are you, giving somebody a hug, a kiss, or getting naked with somebody, that's not love.
Yeah.
Love is like an internal alchemy. So are you kidding me that you're assuming people are walking around with love?
So you just don't even think that people are in a space to love that, let alone it to be an endless resource.
That's what I'm
saying. Is that what
saying.
you're saying?
The masters, from what I studied, and
I always ask you a question thinking you'll go one way and you come at it the other way.
No, I've studied with masters and I'm with them, and I even share that now in part of my work. What it takes to attain to love is one of the most impossible quests. What people talk about love is imitation. Two people get together, kiss each other, doesn't mean it's love. Two people hold hand, doesn't mean it's love. Love is a living energy. One wakes up to it. For that, the self must be absent. Follow this. When the self is absent, the I, the ego is absent, it has no desire. If it has no desire, why would he want to desire to be with many people? The very notion, I want to freely love everybody. I've been When I was younger, I was exposed to a teacher who believed in free love. I don't agree with it for this reason. If you can be in that state and say, I love all, if you are in that state and you say, I can love you, and it will never end, agreed in principle. That person probably can. But can you? How many have attained to love? When I was young, I was doing a psychology study, and we were talking, and the psychologist was doing something about my mother. And he said, did your mother love you? And I asked him, how did you know she attained to love?
So what do you so you're saying that people can't even love to begin with?
Can they?
I'm asking you.
Can you go beyond self-interest? Can you go beyond putting the I down? Can you go beyond the notion of me that has been created by society? Can you sit there being absent? Can you be there looking at somebody beyond self-interest? Can you embrace another as you? The greatest hallucination you must say that humanity has done is as though they love. What is your nuclear weapon? What is your war? What is happening in Palestine? What is happening all over the world?
Yeah.
We are paying money for water.
Yeah.
You are talking, there is love. We pretend love. I'm very worried about going down this line because everybody will claim they love. Just because you're feeling something for a well-curved woman, I used to tell the boys, does not mean you love. How come you are not feeling love for an uncurved woman? A woman wants to date a guy who's popular, who's the man. Why isn't she falling in love with a gardener? How come? So there's something else going on. I will not dismiss they don't love. It's not that endless love they are talking about. Yes, masters who attain, they attain to endless love, but they have no self. There is no self-interest. They are selfless. There is no self. By being selfless, why would they want 100 women, 100 men? Want. If it happens, I don't know. So the assumption, do you know why you marry someone you love? Do you know why you marry? It's the rarest thing. Something about the other propels you into a state that you are overpouring. And it doesn't happen with everyone. I can love, but how many people can I meet can receive that love? To receive, you must be in that state too. Yes, it is endless. This is known. Existence is made out of love. This is the truth. Love is everything. It is infinite. It's resource. First, can one come to it? Two, can you meet someone else you meet in that? There is I believe there has to be commitment. Not commitment as a rule, There must be something within me that holds me that I'm true to love. Do you know in Indian culture, if the woman or the husband use the word I, it's like a divorce. They must never talk as I, it's we.
But okay, let's step away from romantic love.
Yeah.
What about like friendship, family, things like that? There's so much love there. We don't question the amount of love that the love, like, I don't feel some type of way if my friends have multiple friends and we all love each other. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm having difficulty understanding this word love, the way you're using it. Again, just because you feel something, just because you're attached, just because you guys do something together, is that love? I like tennis, you like tennis, we play tennis, we love it.
No, but I'm not talking about those type of friendships. You've been through life together, you've supported each other at different times, and it's a long, like, I have friendships that I feel are
you're talking about commitment. Then you're talking about going to that state of being selfless. You are saying, I've been with people who have put myself aside. I have been with people who put their self aside.
Yeah.
By that, I have felt me loving them and they loving me.
And I felt
And is it rare?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But I felt myself also reflected back
Yeah.
in a way that I sometimes can't even see.
Then you are saying, yes, it is an infinite, it's an infinite resource, but tapping into it needs an incredible discipline and a life well lived, right?
Yeah.
You don't love everybody. The one you say you love as your friend, they did rise to it. You also rose to it,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Yeah.
So it is not this notion of lovey-dovey that we all love. I think love is an attainment. It's not given. Love is when I can put this idea of self aside, meet another human being for themselves, and they are able to meet me putting themselves aside for me, and something happen. It is an alchemy. And then you are so grateful that such an atmosphere happened for you to discover that love which might be infinite. But it lives in a finite world.
Yeah.
I think this concept of all of us loving and we can have many people we love, I think in one lifetime, if you live on your deathbed, you find one person you want to see their face before you go. I think you have been very lucky, one person. Then when I'm dying, I'm
So is it me, Aisha, Amma?
all three. Isn't it? That day when your sister going back, I hugged her.
And you cried, I know, I heard.
Little bit. I'm man, I don't cry. and you know what I remembered? I remembered you both as a kid because I was going through the pictures. I was trying to make a book. And I was thinking, oh my God, that emotion of what I would do for you all. Like, what is that? I would not. So I came back and I told something, when I saw my kids, I lost being tired. I lost the right to be tired, to be whatever. I lost all rights that I will dedicate my life for the wellness of them, whether they know it or not. I think those are the triggers that takes you to a point of being selfless, by which love explodes. And that love is infinite. But can that love be shared with everybody? Can the other receive? I can love. Can the other receive? You are my daughters. You will. Can another? Like somebody went to Ramana Maharishi, UG Krishnamurti when he was young. You're sitting with Ramana. Ramana was meditating. Ramana is known for his love. So he asked Ramana, can you give me what you have? Ramana asked, can you take it? So can I say for love, both are needed, right? Human love.
So are you saying that we don't even understand what it means to love? We're not even ready to put ourselves, or not even put ourselves aside, still acknowledge ourselves and acknowledge the other in the way that we need to in order to actually love. That, yeah, if you can get to that point, love is endless. But to even get to that point, y'all are not there yet.
Right. Or you are there accidentally, or you are on the way there. So how can it happen with everyone? That is all my argument. Like over these years, I was telling someone the other day, and I think I'm one of the most successful master around. Because over these 30 years, I have collected people. I've been teaching for thousands and thousands of people. Maybe a few hundred that I really met, that I'm so glad I met. I can pour, they can receive. They can pour, I can receive. There's a certain, like you said about your friends, I have disciples. But it is not for everyone, And I think it's a very careless proposition to propagate, we freely love, everybody can have multiple partners. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Are you in reality or lost into concept? I think these are, I don't mean to say who wrote this book, but these are dangerous, You are telling a lie. Can someone really pay attention to your wellness and put themselves aside and look at you for you? You, for you, looking at you, they are not there. They're looking at you. And can you find someone with whom you can do that?
I feel like it's not for it that, I feel like if it's like that all the time, it's really freaking serious, isn't it?
It is serious. In your word. That means, living without it, you made it normal. That's why living with it looks serious. To me, living in love is the normal way to live. Like I
No,
connect.
I guess it's like I would always do that. I would always want to do that for the people that I love, but I don't always have to do it, right?
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But the people you love, something happened to you and to them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you talk about Sunny or Naja or all your friends. I've known them from this. You have known them from this. Over the years, something happened.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that is sacred, that is rare, and one should not mess with those things.
Yeah.
Those are the most sacred things. Those are the things we thrive towards. You will meet a boy, you will meet a man in which you look and you say, with you somehow I can put myself aside. And hopefully the other person says, yeah, with you, I can put me aside, and somehow being with each other seems to be the chemistry that allow this infinite love to happen, and that forms a bond. It is not going to happen with everyone. Come on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I guess I've never felt with a man that I'll definitely want to put myself aside. I'm like, I could, but like, it doesn't feel like,
No, when it happens, it happens.
yeah.
No, when it happens, it happens. I think it's one of the greatest mystery. Love is our truth
No,
until
but like,
we attain to
at
it.
least at this point in my life, I see it with the friends that I have. I'm lucky with my friends that it's all very just, it's luck.
Yep.
You just
That's what you
happen-
must say. It's luck.
Yeah.
Divine intervention. Something happened. Now you see why I'm saying we cannot be careless. They are not like everybody else. It's strange. And Buddha talks about no self. Buddha talks about humanity. At the end, he waited for his favorite disciple to die on his lap. I'm like, I mean, there was something there with this guy, this disciple. There was a bond. There was something sacred. To me, something sacred. Don't let human mind intervene.
Yeah, I guess that like even like with my friendship with Sunny, for example, there was a point where we thought maybe we might not be able to make it as friends and all that. And then she said to me, she was like, I can't believe there are so many times it would have been understandable for you to stop being friends with me. And I was like, I didn't even think that that was an option.
But this is, I don't want to belittle it. This is friendship.
I know it's different. It's different. It's
No.
different.
Not different. The depth is slightly different.
Yeah.
Later you will meet.
There's no sex.
Yeah. Unbus Meccan. No, the prayer is that you meet. Prayer is someone with whom that explodes.
Yeah.
Someone with whom you wake up to. You see, more than loving somebody, I say you met somebody you could tap into your love. How's that?
Yeah.
And I feel like sharing that with that person is the only one who could receive it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, meeting someone by which something happened to me, and I tap into this infinite state of love, and I'm connected to that person because that person seemed to be my door. And vice versa. Wait until when you love starts pouring, when you travel the world finding for people who can receive it. That's a whole nother thing. So I don't think there can be any author on love. There can only be people who honestly say they struggle to wake up to love. So I will be very cautious of all these concepts of
But like
I have an infinite love, I can love everybody. I don't even know whether I like everybody, leave alone love.
yeah. I feel like maybe it's more like we can act out of infinite love. Is that a
Yeah.
better way to look
Yeah,
at it?
maybe we can act as though love is infinite, but
No,
we
no,
keep
that's
in
not.
mind,
No,
we might
no,
not-
that's not what I mean. I mean, we can act out of our infinite love.
Yes, you can. Oh, that you can do. That you can do. And that anyone can do. Yeah. And it doesn't mean the other can receive it,
But it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
it's for you to give, and then hopefully give freely and receive
Really?
back. Yeah.
That's a very heightened
Like
realization.
I do try to always give the right of way for pedestrians in Malaysia. Even though no car ever gives me a right of way when I'm a pedestrian.
I quit.
Not quite? So, I'm sorry, I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
I think you should enter love as a mystery, as an exploration. I would very cautiously, because you're vulnerable, you're open, but also courageously. I'll be cautious, but also courageously.
I feel like people are so cautious with their love that they literally miss out
Yeah,
on opportunities
they do.
to be loved.
They do. They do. That is also true. That is also true. But it's your journey to become awake to you. You are that love, ultimately. You are that love, ultimately. So I think the journey is not about expressing love. It's about discovering one's own love and being able to find avenues to pour it. No?
I guess it's like how do you tap into that for yourself? Like if somebody were to be like, I don't even know how to see my love that's within me that is endless. I don't even know how to perceive that. I don't even know how to act from that space. Where would you start?
I think in any area, yourself is not important. Self not meaning you, the notion of I. The sense of I is not important. When I don't care about this I. When I'm ready to transcend that I suppose. And I think for each individual, they come into their love on their own. Whether it's romantic or whether it's situational. But the prayer is, life provokes that love to happen. You see, the only place the source of love exists is within us, You can't mine it. It doesn't exist in any location. It's only in living being. And I suspect the whole process of living is to wake that in you and you becoming one of the portals for love to flow. Right? You ask, how does one want to tap into? Why? Until you answer the question,
No,
why?
because some people have they're so afraid to act from that space of love and vulnerability that the wall they've built is so high. Like the access to it is it's not even there. How do you
Why? Why do you even want them to bring it down? Maybe that's how they want to exist until they come to realize.
That's true.
Until they come to realize, oh my God, I am destroying me. But until then, you see, most people feel if they love somebody, the other person profits.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's this concept that it's scarce, that there's not enough.
Maybe that's a concept. Or it's like a feeling of defeat when you love. If you love somebody, something is defeated in you.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
you
it's
fell.
given in.
You've given in and all that. Well, that's a human journey. That's your journey. Until you realize the one who loves is the one that profits, not the one who receives it.
And it's almost like we want to hold on to this power of withholding love.
That I agree. Cruelty. Actually, they're not withholding, they don't have it. They're just pretending they have it. You understand? They don't have it. Because when you attain to love, the first thing you want to do is share it because it's overpouring. Once I was in a temple and they're doing a puja, they're pouring milk and stuff. And I was looking at it and I told someone, that's exactly what I attained to. And that time, I was not a Hindu for the longest time. I didn't practice. And I was in the temple, I'm looking and I said, oh my God, that's what happened to me, I said. Something was overpouring. And when it's overpouring, then you are just living a life to empty this love that is happening to you, right? For the first time, you live a very grand life.
Yeah, but it's also like when you see a baby, like when Vasuki's son, when I see him, I'm like, I'll die for you. I would die for you. You are literally an angel from heaven, and there is not, I love you so much. You have not even said a word to me. But it's just it flows out of you.
Then you have it. Others don't.
You definitely have it. On the floor with him.
No, he's too cute.
He's too cute.
He's too cute. No, but I don't understand the question here. If somebody hasn't attained to it, you have to feel sorry for them.
Can they trigger it?
Why would they?
Why wouldn't they?
See, that's your question. I'm asking this question to you. Has the demand to love happened?
I'm asking the question, why does there even need to be a demand? Why can't it just be? Naive? Too naive?
It's a good question. I'm saying there needs to be a demand for love to happen. You are asking, why is there even a demand?
Why do we live in a world where we have to demand it? Why isn't it just
No,
there?
because it's an evolutionary thing. You assume by birth you attain to love. Come on. I think
Again,
that's the biggest misconception. As though everyone has attained to love and now they don't want to love. No, you don't have it, sir. If you have it, it will be flowing. If you have it, every excuse. I remember there was this last phase of Appa meditating, I was with, your mother was with me. Sometime at night, they say, get into the car. Come, we go out. We'll go somewhere where there are a lot of people and just sit there for an hour or two. Then I say, now we can go home. Because she had a very beautiful word. She called it Pongaran. It's overflowing. And I'm meditating, it's overflowing. I say, come, we go. And nobody knows we are doing it. And she just sit down, eat some popcorn or something. And just for 20 minutes, an hour and a half, now I say I can sleep. That is, to me, that is when love is happening. And you're going anywhere to anyone to take it. But now, that is the overpouring. It's just happening. I'm giving it away. Take it. And I thank you for it, not you thank me. I feel unburdened. You are assuming most time that state. Most that never happens.
it's like I just feel like there is, like, why are you withholding something?
No, they are not withholding. It
They just don't
hasn't
have it.
happened. Vasuki's son comes, you, me, your mother, all of us all over the floor playing with him. But that's not the reality of most, Some might even pretend it. Some, it might just be a hormonal reaction. Again, I don't know whether we are on point here in discussion. You are assuming love has happened to everyone. Not really.
Yeah, that is my assumption. My assumption isn't that love has happened to everyone. My assumption is that in everyone there is an endless pot of love. And why don't you live from there and take your energy from there
No, they
instead
haven't
from
attained to it.
hatred and all of this?
You are misguided. You are misguided. You think people have come to it.
Yeah.
We have examples of people like Mao, Stalin, the whole people who kill hundreds of thousands of people. And if you ask them, they think they love,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, has everyone attained to love? They have a potential. Will they? This is the mystery. That is why in interpersonal relationship, you meet people with whom that has happened, with whom that can happen to you, and that is held sacredly, and one cannot be careless. Yes, I and your mother drove past and just sit. That night when whatever happened to Appa happened, the first thing I did was left a note and walked to a fish market. There's hundreds and hundreds of people in the market. I sat there till the morning, then I came back. Why? I needed to discharge this energy. But who I gave doesn't matter. Did they receive? I didn't care. I just gave it away and came back, right? But that is a very universal state. But you are talking about personal. With whom that can happen would be the person you want to
I'm
be with.
talking about the personal as a universal, though.
I'm very worried about simplifying it.
I thought you were going to say very worried about me.
Yeah, that is true. Can I love just anybody intimately? I don't think it's possible.
No, I don't think I'm intimately. I mean more in the sense of like, can we choose to live in a way where we are consistently reflecting that love that's within us?
You can. You do.
Yeah, I want to though. But why don't other people want to?
All I can say is they haven't woken up to it. And that is their journey to wake up to, or they might not wake up to. That is the infinite question. They say all men are created equal, but they don't exist equally. Some are ahead, some are at the back. The only promise, probably, if you listen to all the masters, is eventually everybody will get there.
Yeah.
But your question is, why aren't everybody loving? My answer to you is, who told you they attained to it already? Why aren't everybody happy? How many people have attained to happiness?
But I feel like it's a tool to get to be happy.
No, without love, you cannot be happy.
Yeah.
How many happy people have you met?
You know I live in London now, right? None.
Yeah. How many happy people you meet? They got happy hours. That shows they were not happy other hours. That is the demarcation. But I tell you this about humanity, they are struggling, they're doing the best they can. A mother has a child, it happens out of sex. And most can perform sex. A baby happens. It doesn't mean she attains to love, Do you understand?
Yeah.
And to say everybody attained to love is a very unintelligent statement. We pray love happen. If all mothers and fathers love happen, right? You think humanity would be the way it is? It doesn't mean all mothers and fathers can love, whether they can attain to it. Can they put the self aside? Can they give themselves to something more? Can they act despite them?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Despite all of that, do it anyway. Even if it's hard, even if it feels unnatural.
Ladies and gentlemen, Apshi preaching. And I think we should listen to it. But I don't think that should concern you, If you love, love.
Yeah.
But I'm only cautioning, because you brought up the subject about multiple partners and all that. At least in my experience, humanity is not there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not there yet. If you need many partners, why one is not enough? What are you going to get from the other that you don't going to get from this?
It's not depth that they're looking for.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think they are trying to cover up a very teenage mind, behavior, and justifying it as an adult or depth of love. That's what I worried about. But I'm not an authority. I'm not an authority. But love is all there is.
I guess it's like we can say that, yes, love is an endless resource, but within you.
Yeah.
But have you
Tapped into it.
Tapped
Have you
into it.
woken up to it? Wow, I like that. That rest is this. If not, we are forcing people to pretend to love.
Yeah, no. Do you
No,
babe?
love is when you give, you don't even know you have given, Love is when you consider somebody you didn't even know you have considered. Love is when you've taken somebody in, you don't even know you have taken somebody in. Love is one of those unsplit state that happens crazy. You wake up to be another human being. You wake up including another, celebrating another. And for many, that's a curse, because their whole life is about survival and making it only about them. That is why just now you say why they don't want to love. Because they want to make it only about them. Making it about you is to lose. But this is an evolutionary state. Even now when the whole world talks about you have to attain to love, we should love, they don't know what they're talking about. It's just statements they make. Love is a lifelong living, a commitment, an inner discipline, an attainment. It's not just fun. It's something more than that. When the other is looked upon as you, when you get hurt, I get hurt. When I'm so unsplit from you, loving is something else. In love, loving, like when I and your mother drove and I sat down there, I'm just giving away love. That's something else. I don't think even that counts.
Yeah.
I'm overpouring here, take. Thank you very much. I don't even want to know you. Good luck. That's just overpouring. It's like you go somewhere, there's a lot of food, they're just giving people, come on, take it. Please, thank you, thank you. It's not personal, it's just an act. One type of love. Another one is I meet you and I get to know you and I figure out what you like to eat and I go out and get that food, that's something else too, right? I think the oversimplification is what I worry about.
It's like just like love. This is an endless discussion.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too. Bye bye.
Bye.